Coming up on today's show, we're talking about the games that shaped our What's Good Games journey. We definitely have a little bit of Yakuza news, and will there be tears and burps? It's What's Good Games. What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff for the last Friday, everybody. Whether it's your first episode or your 400 and something episode, technically it's episode 385 of named episodes.
We've uploaded a lot of little special episodes along the way.
We have. We're glad that you are here.
Like this?
We've already had one computer crash in the middle of this recording, so we're going to go on this journey together, everybody. I'm Andrea Renee, joined by Mrs. Riana Manuel-Peña.
I'm surprised we actually got back up and running.
Right? We did it.
Impressive. You got to rally.
Thank you. Brittany Brombacher is here.
I love it.
And please welcome back to the show our co-founder and BFF, Alexa Ray Corriea.
Hi, I'm here, and everything is already exactly as I thought I would find it.
It's chaos.
Yes. We were talking about how this is the first time you are recording in the studio in Los Angeles.
Yes. Yes. It's very beautiful on this side. And also it's my first time recording with Ree.
Which is so strange.
I know.
Because we've talked about games so many times.
And we're also Geminis.
We are.
I'm a Gemini.
That's right. We're all Geminis. You're a Leo, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Leo, yeah.
I'm surrounded by people with May birthdays, which is wonderful.
I think Alexa and I are like 12 hours apart.
We are, because you're the
21st.
21st. I'm the 22nd. Yeah. And I'm 12:30 a.m. on the 22nd.
Okay. I have no fucking
just barely
idea.
made it.
I just barely made it.
Nice.
Snuck right in there. But yeah, we're like right there. The universe was like, bam,
Today
bam.
you learned, friends.
Good luck.
Yeah. Explains a lot.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I guess if you're into the astrology and you know what that means, I'm happy for you. We have a wonderful show planned for you. It's going to be a journey. We are going to talk a little bit about the news, as Brittany predicted we would, once we learned that RGG was going to be having a Tokyo Game Show showcase. Is that what they called it?
RGG Summit 2024.
The summit. So hold on to your butts for that. And then we're going to talk about some impactful games that shaped our journey making What's Good Games. And then we're going to get into some fun nostalgia. And we're going to try to hold it together. So thank you, everybody, for being here. A huge thank you to our super producers who have been with us for so long, Ferocitia, Punctified, and Joshua Franklin. We appreciate you and everybody who has supported the show on Patreon or Supercast. Oh, you guys rehearsed
We figured it out.
right?
I figured out how to do the Gen Z heart.
The way
It's
my
like this.
tendons and my fingers are about to snap, y'all.
So you have to do like the high elbows.
You gotta
it's a number
witch
two.
hand it. No, you witch hand it. And
Number
then it's
two.
fine.
Pull the middle fingers to kiss.
middle fingers to kiss.
And then curl the fingers up top.
Oh, and I made a diamond.
This
Shit.
is
There we go.
this is awkward.
It is.
Why are you
But
gonna make
I'm
things
happy
hard?
that the youth are doing a thing.
No, they're reinventing the wheel. There was nothing wrong with
Nothing
this.
was wrong with
it's
it.
No.
perfect. It's a perfect heart.
They don't want to do what we do though because they think we're chuggy.
Chugi's out.
They're dressing like
I don't even know what Shugi means.
just
We are
proved
back
that
to
point.
cringe.
Alexa, I literally said yeet a few episodes ago, and these bitches laughed at me. So
I
can't-
just proved a point. What are we?
We're back to cringe.
We're cringe. Really?
we
Already?
are the cringe, I guess. This
no,
is what's happening.
No cap?
No, that's definitely
Okay,
that's way
all right,
gone.
all right.
That's way
way
gone.
gone. I don't know.
Brittany,
Skibbity Ohio Riz.
I would normally ask you.
I have a Gen Z brother. I can say that. I'm allowed.
Riz.
Toilet Riz.
Skibbity Toilet Riz.
Okay, Skibbity Toilet Riz is going to go to the side. We're not going to talk about that. We'll save it for the stream, the live stream, which we hope that we see lots of y'all in. If you are listening to this episode or watching it at youtube.com/whatsgoodgames and you missed the live stream, please do go check out the VOD because I'm confident that it's going to be worth your time.
We're going to be drunk by the end of this episode.
Confident.
I can only imagine what state we're going to be in come the stream.
Brittany, normally I would ask you about 5-star reviews, and you pulled our overall review count.
I did, yeah. So I used Chartable, which pulls in all of the online podcast ratings, and we were at an exact 3,000 ratings with an average score of 4.6.
Amazing.
Which I will say, a lot of those 1 stars, you're women, you have vaginas. Like, stupid, irrelevant. Also, the 1 stars can go fuck themselves, but hey, I digress. Anyway, I think that's something we should all be very, very proud of.
That's amazing. Yes, congrats to us.
Congrats
and congrats
to
to everybody who took the time. we appreciate you and are proud that you made time for
I
us.
love what you're doing with this fan, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm in full fidget mode. So
You
I
are
know.
holding on to it for dear life.
yes. Well, it's either that or I will start fidgeting with literally anything else.
I know.
We are very excited to do the show today, and we have some really fun stuff to get into. But before we do that, Alexa,
Hi.
it's so nice to have you on the episode. And we're not going to be talking about the top secret game that you're working on,
Top secret.
but it's top
No one's
secret.
ever heard of it.
But
Never.
we would love to just get an update on how are you? Like, how is life? Like, how is life as a game dev? How's life as just a person in the world?
Because I think it's really cool. I just want to say this too. When you first started What's Good, you had dreams and aspirations of being a writer.
Yes.
I remember that. And now you are a whole ass fucking game dev.
I'm a
dude.
whole ass game developer.
We're proud
The
of you.
whole ass job. Being a person in the world and being a developer, kind of the same thing right now. Everything is chaos.
It's been a year.
It's been a time, but no. I've been very fortunate to meet and work with a lot of really excellent people. It's been really interesting seeing how the sausage gets made and the ingredients that get put in the sausage and what happens when the sausage goes wrong. It's definitely a process. I can't condense that into like one sentence, but I don't know if you guys have read any of Jason Schreier's books. I know his Blizzard book just came out. It's actually a really great look into like just how chaotic and unpredictable game development can be. I just was like, I want to be a writer and it'll be fun in games and we'll make something beautiful. It'll come out in like 3 years and everyone will love it. And it's just been like that Yoshi's Island meme where Yoshi opens his mouth and screams for the entirety of an hour. But sometimes you start to get used to the sound and you're like, actually, I like this. I'm going to start dancing onto it. And you just keep going. I like it.
This is the
being
visual
dev.
I needed to kick off the show, I have to say.
I like when you can picture it when I say it. No, I love being in dev and I like how the people I work with and I've learned so much. Like I definitely am not the same person I was like back in 2017 before we started this. And that's all I can really say about what I'm doing right now without breaking 10 million NDAs. Please don't hurt
Don't
me.
do that. We want you to keep your fancy game dev job.
Yes,
So-
but it's super fun. And when
That was the wrong
Whoop.
button. Didn't mean to hit that.
doop doop, but no, it's super fun. But I think of you guys often, and I still hope one day that I get to sit down for an interview with you. You get to
Ooh.
interview
We are
me.
gonna make
That's
that
the
happen.
goal. That's the
We're
goal.
gonna make that happen.
That's the goal.
I'm planting the commitment flag in the sand.
We said it's
will.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yes. Well, we did technically have one where we had you on the show where we
That's
talked
different,
about.
though.
Yes, it was different, but we did do one.
We did, but you have to interview me about the thing I can't talk about
Yes.
that comes out that I work on.
Yes, we will.
That
But
one.
to make sure that we don't accidentally stumble into that conversation. Thank you for the recap. Not the recapping, which I feel like I've watched that clip now a bazillion times, which is hilarious. But Brittany, you must be champing at the bit to talk about
me
the
pull up my notes.
RGG Summit. So we're not doing a proper
Take a sip.
news
Take a
block
sip.
on this episode because we have a lot of other things we'd rather discuss, but we knew that this was a must.
Oh,
Pirates!
What a blessing that I get to talk about this. On the last What's Good Games episode, I got my Majima game. My Majima game.
You
What-
got it.
I got it, and he's a pirate. And Alexa, I know you're very curious about this.
I saw the announcement and I immediately shut it off because I'm
You're
like,
not
I don't want to hear about this. I want to hear about it from you
Yes.
specifically.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to shed any light on this more than
I don't care. I only want to know what you what is it?
Okay, well, let me pull up my notes. Okay. So this game is coming out February 27th. So it's coming out very, very soon, coming out
Wow.
on all the platforms that you could think of except for Switch. It's an action-adventure game, and it's 1.3 to 1.5 times longer than Like a Dragon Gate and The Man Who Erased His Name.
But those were
Ooh.
long.
It was long-ish. That one was short-ish. Okay, so I
For
wrote
the-
down long and short. It's 17 hours-ish. I did the math. I did the math.
17 is
For the main story, and that's not even a completionist. It is long, but like I think about Infinite Wealth, which was like 80 to 90 hours. But
that's true.
it's a beefy fucking sausage we're getting, ladies. Hold on to your butt, say R, do all the pirate
beef
memes. I don't even care.
Very
Okay, so the summit was at 3 a.m. Pacific time. At 2:55 a.m., I got my ass out of bed and I dragged my sweet summer ass all the way to my PC and I sat down and I watched it. And I had a feeling I was getting my game because RGG had been posting a lot of Majima memes, and I was like, "You
Uh-oh.
And then
Teasing
the
you.
countdown starts, the countdown ends, and Majima pops out. And he's like, sorry to keep you for so long. And then I just everywhere. I knew it was going to be a slip and slide. It was glorious. So what is this game? Great fucking question.
It sounded like poop noises.
So I get a message from Brittany in our WGG Discord with a photo of Majima as a pirate with just in all caps, "I am God's chosen."
I was.
What's it
I
like to
still
be
am.
God's favorite, Brittany?
This has been the year of Brittany. I'm just going to put that out there. Okay, so here's the official description because, like, I couldn't even tell you. Wow, Alexa, you are so excited for me, and I love that for myself.
It's going so great.
We're making it happen.
Okay, embark on an over-the-top modern-day pirate adventure with an ex-Yakuza, now pirate captain, and his crew as they engage in exhilarating combat on land and sea in the hunt for lost memories and a legendary fucking treasure.
I gotta know what made him give up his Yakuza life to be a fucking pirate.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Not a big market.
I can't.
For
I
those
couldn't
now.
even go down that rabbit hole with you because that's like the entirety of the Yakuza plot. Is the downfall of the Tojo clan and how they end up in the position they are. So don't want to spoil Infinite Wealth, but if you play Infinite Wealth, there's a point where you see Daigo, I can't, I'm
Oh,
drunk.
dear God.
Majima, Daigo, and the other dude, Taiga, that's his name, and they're not in the Yakuza anymore. Something's happened. Okay, so this game takes place 6 months after that. Majima washes up on shore, face down, ass up. There's little crabs scuttling around, and he's like, oh, where am I? I don't know. He's like, I don't even know who I am anymore. He's lost his memory. 2 days later, he's the pirate captain of a ship.
Of course.
And they're now
Damn.
called the Goro Pirates. They are looking for something, for a treasure, and there is something called the Nelly Island, and that is in the game. It's important to Infinite Wealth. Not going to spoil that, why that's important. But so clearly this is like a continuation of that story, which is like, okay, cool, we're getting canon, but I wonder if this is a fever dream. I wonder if this whole thing is a fever dream because there's DLC you can pay for, and when you pay for these bitches, they come on your ship, but they're people that have been dead in the series for a long time. So how are they going to make that work?
Whoa, like zombies?
I don't know.
Or is it like a ferryman to the other side kind of situation?
I don't know. No one knows anything, Reese.
Is he in a coma?
Maybe.
Having a
Legit, maybe.
dream?
So here's
he
the other
high?
thing. Here's
Is he a
my
dream
theory.
of the faith?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
My theory is when Majima washes up, face down, ass up on the beach, he's like, help me, in Japanese. And yes!
Nice.
Oh, I love you. And then a little boy named Noah, who's going to be a very important character of the story, approaches. And he's like, here, mister, I just happen to have water with me, in Japanese. And he hands it to Majima.
Too much.
What kid has water?
I know,
Me
right?
too.
Majima drinks the water, and then he's like, I don't know what came over me, but like, blah, blah, blah. Let me talk about what happened. And then we start to see the trailer play out where he becomes the captain of a ship, blah, blah, blah. My theory is that what if there was something in that water? And if you've played Infinite Wealth, you know there's something weird about that water. Nelly Island, know what I mean? Theory, probably not going to happen, but I just got to put it out there. You know what I mean? It has to be out there in the world. Okay, so that's what we know about the game, which is not a heck of a lot. Somehow Majima has washed up on a beach. He has no memory. He doesn't even know who he is, but he's somehow now the captain of a ship. Cool, love that for him. Yesterday, Joy Noel asked me, is this as random as it appears? And I said, yes.
I would not be
Good question.
surprised if your theory was correct, because if anyone knows how to parse this series, it is you.
Thank you. It's one of my talents. I have really no idea. Like, here's the thing. Majima is not the kind of character that gets a normal story. He doesn't get his normal game. This is what's normal for him, and this is, I feel like, how they're going to grow and evolve him as a character. Great, cool. Anywho, so like the part where I really got like really hot and bothered, really slip and slide, if you know what I mean.
Rihanna knows what you mean.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Shit.
all over that.
Yeah, you are.
What?
Okay. Pull it together, but you're a goddamn professional. You can dress up Majima.
Ooh.
You can dress him up.
Love a
I
good
saw
dress up.
7 different hairstyles, bunch of different shirts and outfits from other RGG games. I'm excited to play dress up with my boy. I'm very, very excited about that. But also there's a bunch of mini games, and this is one of the mini games that was in Gaiden, the man who erased his name. You can dress homeboy up, you can have him look what you want, but there's Dragon Kart, which is like Mario Kart, but like, you know, for Yakuza boys. Karaoke is back. He's gonna be doing some of the most iconic songs, like 24 Hour Cinderella, some of you out there know what I'm talking about. It looks like it's going to be like a full-fledged action adventure game with all the side stories, all the crazy mini games you would come to expect. And this team was very, very honest and transparent where they're like, there's still a lot more to come that you don't even know about yet. I'm very excited. I'm emotionally drained from that little hiatus we had, but like chipmunks. I don't know how we got to this point. Looks very, very good. And
That'll
I'm very
all make
excited.
sense
It'll all make sense.
if you watch to the end of the episode, everybody.
I didn't
episode
realize that was
homies.
recording. Okay.
It was recording all of that.
The whole chipmunks conversation?
Most of it.
Oh,
Oh
great.
boy. Good thing this is our last episode. Woo!
So for people who may be lost, we've had several
I can't.
technical catastrophic problems during the recording, which is somehow the universe giving me a sign about something. Literally never happened in the history of 7 years of What's Good Games as the PC crashed 3 times in the middle of the record.
It's me.
Um,
Because I'm here.
It's-
Sorry.
No, it's not you. I think it's the universe just letting us know that it sees us. But Brittany, I'm so happy that you have these theories. Have you been keeping track of which of your theories has come to fruition?
No,
Have any of them?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you, baby. My mind is so not in that place right now.
Well, how about we do a check-in like early next year?
Okay. The one thing I do want to say, though, that's really cool about this game, because I haven't been able to, sea combat. There's naval combat. You can upgrade your ship. You can assemble a crew.
Ooh. This is amazing.
There's the Mad Dog fighting style and then the Sea Dog fighting style.
What's the difference between?
Sea Dog, you get culuses and you can do more like like pirate-based combat. Mad Dog is his iconic fighting style from all the other games. So anyway, I'm very thrilled. As you probably can't tell because I'm dead inside right now, but it's be very good.
She's dead and alive at the same time,
I have a lot
everybody.
of emotions.
Well, speaking of emotions, it's time to chat about the end of What's Good Games.
Dun dun dun.
So we've gotten a lot of questions, hard pivot everybody, from Britt's pirate fever dream in Yakuza and Like a Dragon to What's Good Games sunsetting. We've had many, many questions and comments and tweets and in the Facebook page about, so did they say why they're shutting the show down, why it's all ending? And we didn't really. No, we didn't, because it requires a little bit of an explanation, but also it's sort of a hard answer to like wrap up into a soundbite, if I'm being honest. We've been discussing what's the future of What's Good Games for quite some time, and anybody who's been following our show for any number of years, so we've gone through several changes. Obviously, we had Alexa Ray leave the show to go pursue her video game development dreams, and I would say you're pretty crushing it.
Thanks. I have to wear hard pants for my day job, and it's the dream come true.
Hard pants.
Hard pants?
Hard pants. Like you put on your hard pants and you go out and you do your
Oh,
little
not your
big girl
comfy
job.
pants.
Yeah,
Instead
not
of
the
saying
soft pants.
instead of saying big girl job, it's a hard pants job.
I like this idea, a hard pants job.
Yes.
But you do
And
look
it's
good in
gender
hard
neutral.
pants.
You do.
Thank you.
Like you rock a pantsuit.
I do like I am in my suit era.
I love that though. I love that for you.
Thanks, Mom.
And we had our girl Steimer go pursue her dream job over in Germany. Well, I should say her dream move of
Yeah, she's
living
always wanted to live across
of
the
living
pond.
abroad and living in a different country, and she is living her best life, eating
is.
croissants and going on strolls to coffee shops, which we heard all about in the anniversary stream back in May, which was great. And she sends her love. I know several people were hoping to see her on this episode, but this isn't a reunion episode, and maybe someday in the future we can all get together at some point and do a fun reunion episode. But nothing to announce at this time,
No.
as our PR brothers and sisters like to say. And so Brittany and I were like, well, how do we kind of tackle this conversation? And I think it's obvious to a lot of people who've been watching the show that our lives have changed. I mean, 3 of us at this table became moms.
Kind of a big change.
Yeah, and I don't think
job.
our answer. Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
I don't think our answer is surprising to anybody. I mean, the truth is, our lives have just changed so much that the amount of time and energy that we can commit to, frankly speaking, giving a fuck about the industry and all of its ins and outs and what happens and what doesn't happen is just limited. And so, speaking for myself, there just came a point where it's like, well, I've limited time during the week to give to this thing that I love, which is video games. Do I want to diversify that to the point where I can only give a little bit to like things that maybe I really don't care about, or do I want to put what I do have into what I do love, big chunks of it, right? Talking about games that I love, like Dragon Age or Yakuza or like whatever the hell banging simulator, right? Like I want to get back personally to just enjoying gaming, and not that I haven't enjoyed it, but you know, it's hard. It's a lot to follow, and we just don't have the capacity.
The commingling of business and pleasure can sometimes muddy the things that used to bring you joy. You kind of forget, am I doing this because I'm truly enthusiastic and excited about it, or am I doing it because I have to do it for content, or I have to do it for the show, or I have to do it because I am working with a brand and they want me to talk about this specific thing. And we have the luxury at What's Good Games of being able to say no to anything. So to be clear, we've loved all of the brands that we've worked with. That's been a pleasure of ours to be able to say no to brands who've approached us. And we were like, maybe not that one. Yeah. And that's been an amazing opportunity. But there's a lot of brands we love and would love to work with, but they're not making a game right now, or their studio isn't ready to publish and promote their game, so they're not spending any money on cool custom content or sponsorships or ad buys. And that's part of the business of running a show that has really been challenging. I don't know if you guys have been following. Video games has had a hard year.
Yeah.
And that
hard 2 years.
and
We're on
that
year 2.
absolutely leaks into the content creation aspect of video games as well.
It does, because to be really successful, I mean, truly successful, and have all that growth and blah, 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 you have to follow what's hot and what's the topic of the week, topic of the day. And honestly, it's all been kind of bummer shit lately.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really depressing grind.
Yeah. And it's like, yo, like, life is short. I don't have the spare energy to give to this when I could give it to something else.
You have a whole ass kid
A whole ass
that
human.
needs attention.
Yeah.
Whole ass human
Yeah.
that needs
Cheeks.
attention.
So I hope that makes sense. I think people understand what we're saying.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's a huge part of it. Another part is we understand that economically, the world is a really tough place for most of us. And we are so blessed that we've had thousands of supporters of our show since the moment that we launched, breaking our own Patreon goals within 24 hours, and me and John scrambling in our original studio to be like, how are we going to make video work in the time for next week's episode? And there's a whole conversation to be had about that. But the idea that we just didn't feel right continuing to ask our incredible supporters to keep giving in a time when groceries are hard to pay for, rent and mortgages are hard to pay for, buying clothes for your kids are hard to pay for. And so we thought maybe with everything that's happening in the industry and everything that's happening in the United States and the world at large from an economic standpoint, maybe now is a good time to just say, we had an amazing run, but it's time to hang it up, to say it was great and we loved it, and let's look to the next thing.
Yeah. And speaking as both a co-host now and a fan originally, I appreciate that it's able to end on its own terms, and it's not a slow death or trickling out like one episode a month,
Or finding out on a Sunday night that your entire team is just shut down.
Yeah, like it's really beautiful to be able to say goodbye the way that we want to, and I'm glad that we're able to do it together.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a huge part of it too, that we've seen so many of our friends like have really, quite frankly, shitty ends to their incredible work that they've put so many of the years of their lives into. And we didn't want to go out like that.
No.
We wanted to go out the way we wanted to go out, which is being slightly drunk and sloppy and probably going to cry, and of course having technical problems, but you all understand because you're the best and you've been huge supporters of us. So I know that that's not like a succinct answer, but hopefully it's a relatable answer, and yeah, it's the truth. And the thing that we all wanted to make sure to impart upon everybody watching and listening to the show is there is nothing but love at this table, and we are very excited about everything, and we want to hear about what's next, and you guys want to hear about what's next, and we will talk about that at the end of the episode. But we thought it would be fun to take just a quick step back and look at What's Good Games as a whole and kind of where we've come in the 7.5+ years that we've done the show. So, Britt, as you wrote, let's get nostalgic.
Oh, gosh. Like, where do we even start? WGG Con?
WGG Con was an amazing weekend. I remember asking you and Steimer to fly in because thankfully Alexa was down the street. And so I was like, come on over. But I understood the implications of you guys having to go to the airport and flying in. But when we got there and we were all together, I think one of the things that comes back to me in clarity now is me just remembering all of the other shows that were doing it, were making video game podcasts or video game channels, and it was just all dudes. And you guys probably remember vividly, I very strongly did not want to brand any of our content as girl gaming stuff or women in game stuff. Said we are professionals who've been working in this industry a really long time, and we are all women, and that is fucking awesome. But I want people to come to the show to hear our opinions because we're smart women and we're smart people who have done cool fucking shit. And then also the representation is so important.
I'll never forget when we launched. We were all on Discord. Was it Discord at the time? Did we use Discord?
We were on Skype.
We're on Skype.
Wow.
Skype, baby.
It was something else. And I remember we all had the nervous poops.
Yeah, we were
you
all
and I
very
specifically, Alexa. I remember you
we
and
were
I
very anxious.
Very
I remember
never
it
changed.
being like, for real, never. But I just remember us being like, are people gonna like this? Is this gonna work? And because like we all kind of had like our own little following at the time, but it was like, what is it gonna look like? And we're all together. Like, what are people gonna say? And the response was really good.
It was really good. Yeah, I remember hitting send on the tweet, and then just the outpouring of support from everybody. It was just like, we're onto something. And I mentioned this before. I was worried that podcast by that point had already seen their heyday, because I had been doing podcasts since 2009. So I was like, well, these have been around for so long. I was obviously very wrong, which I'm very, very happy I was very wrong. I remember we just crushed goal after goal after goal. There was a point when I was coming into town like twice a month to do streams, to do like secret segments, to do all of this random stuff. And it just felt like the possibilities were endless in that old studio. You know, I never knew what shenanigans we were going to get up to. And bless you, baby. I'm like, let's paint pumpkins. Let's paint.
Like,
let's make turkey
sure.
hands.
Arts and crafts. I mean, do I have some regrets about all of the Patreon tiers that we built in and the sheer amount of work that it ended up being? Maybe. But the memories and the cool stuff that we got to do together and all of the fun that we had doing it clearly translated to everybody who was watching that content and supporting the content.
And that's it. We just had fun. We did stupid shit. And
Seal
people loved
Bando.
it.
Like the Seal Bando.
Oh my God.
Still a moment that will live in infamy.
Yeah. Oh my. I just think of that first year.
Yeah.
You took us on a fucking run. We launched. We did Facebook hosting with E3.
Yes.
We had a party at PAX.
Oh, fuck, we did.
We went to PSX. Like all of that within the first few months of us launching.
I remember that. Yeah.
And here was baby me, who had only ever worked by myself, never really worked in the industry for anything. Cameras kind of terrified me. I mean, I did like my YouTube stuff and whatnot, but you know, that's different when you're in your own house and you're just staring at your camera and you're like, oh, this is just me. I can do as many takes as I want. But then when you're among a group of very, very talented women and you're like, I have to say stuff on camera and do stuff hosting, I don't know if I ever told you, terrified the shit out of me. Facebook, that first Facebook.
Really?
You did great.
I had never done anything like that in my life. I had never interviewed anyone like that or whatever. But like, that's something that I'm really grateful for, is that it has just literally like grown me so much. And I was just kind of thrown into it because I learned something from every single one of you. And I was able to learn from the best. I'm just really grateful for that.
But I believe that you could do it. I never would have asked you to go up there on that stage if I didn't know that you could do it.
But that's what a good friend does.
No. I mean, yes, but
it's what mom does, okay?
I was not approaching that as your friend. I was approaching that as the lead producer for a 3-day live stream on a global platform who was programming it, and I had the opportunity to book whatever talent I wanted.
That's amazing.
Oh, I remember you took my ass to Burlington Factory to get outfits for that E3.
My favorite place to buy
because
clothes.
I was
Love
like,
Burlington.
I don't know what to like, because I was in media. I had finished kind of my stint in media at the time, and I wasn't really doing like, you know, we do E3 with Polygon and GameSpot and whatever, but I was never like sitting like trying to look polished, and like when you're sitting next to you have to show up, otherwise like. I didn't want to sit next to you looking like a fucking gremlin, okay? Excuse me. So I was like, I don't know what to wear. And I think you like looked in my closet and you were like, oh no, we're going to Burlington. And you took me to Burlington and we bought me like 5 new outfits. You dressed me. I wore them all. It was amazing.
And you look great. No, I love Burlington.
thanks
It's so
to
funny, the Burlington deep cut. I mean, I, for a long time working in digital, I had to provide my own wardrobe. Yeah. And that meant I had to buy things that were affordable and also looked good. And you have to follow specific parameters when you're on camera, especially if you're on a colored set. Like our Facebook set was all blue. So you have to be like cognizant of, okay, what colors am I wearing against this blue backdrop, and for like patterns and all that. And, you know, I love the good finds. There's lots of great places to find clothes now.
It was amazing. I will never forget. You made me buy this blue like mini dress. It was just like a shift dress, but it was like cut. And up to that point in my life, I'm like, I don't wear these things. This is not what I wear. And you were like, just fucking wear it. You're gonna look great. It's gonna be fine. And I wore it, and it like changed my life forever.
Wow.
Like it changed my style because you encouraged me to like wear that one dress. And like everything changed. I'll never forget that. I will never forget that.
Comfort zones,
I
man.
wore that dress into the ground. And
Good.
Every time I put it on, I'm like, this is a dress Andrew made me buy for E3.
I just wanted you to see you the way that I saw you.
Hot piece of ass.
Okay, now we're
Let's
gonna
go.
start crying.
Ree,
Yeah. Yeah.
how did you discover What's Good Games?
Yeah.
From Kind of Funny. So, someone over here in the live audience, Maria and I were both in the Kind of Funny Facebook group, fan group.
The KFBFs.
The KFBFs. I was a mod as KF as well. But there's this new thing with the busiest lady in the business, Andrea Renee, called What's Good Games. And so I was like, oh, let me tune into this. I like her. And I fell in love with it and fell in love with the community and what you ladies stood for. Like you said, Andrea, you're on the show. You're doing this because you are experienced, because you're knowledgeable, because you're passionate, not because you're for chicks. And that's just a bonus, honestly. And a new perspective that we sorely needed, obviously, in the industry from some of the stories we'll probably hear from me later. But I really enjoyed the content. I love the conversations you all had. I love how thirsty you were.
Constantly.
Still parched.
Yeah, very relatable, you know, and just regular people who felt like they could be your friends and one day did become my friends, which is still a little surreal, which we talked about earlier before we started recording. And yeah, it was just such a natural fit. I remember, I'm not going to do too much story time, but I remember the first time I actually reached out to you all, I had messaged you because you were having a party in Seattle at PAX. I lived around the corner from the venue, and I was like, hey, let me help. You know, I want to be part of the team. And you were like, okay, sure. Here's all the stuff you can do.
Brittany.
Like, oh, shit. All right.
Well, since you asked.
It's like, okay, I guess I'm part of the crew now. And I went, and it was amazing. Shout out to Unicorn in Seattle. I'm glad they survived the pandemic. And I remember I was at the door helping people like come in and out, and you were interfacing with some very rude people who were trying to give you a hard time. And I remember as they were walking out the door, you said, okay, thank you, fuck you too. And I was like,
That's
oh
the
my
girl.
God, she is so cool. Like this person who I just met is like so real. You know what I mean? Like you were defending somebody. I don't even know if you remember what happened.
I don't, honestly.
But like the claws came out, and I was like, that's really neat. Like, oh my God, I want to be her friend too. And it just, I don't know. You're just people that I admired so much, and I wanted to do more with you all. And I'm honestly still in disbelief that I got to be part of it.
I am so glad, and I have more to say. Like I have a little thank you message I'm doing at the very end of the episode, but the initiative that you took is the thing that we talk about with people about being very thoughtful about shooting your shot. You know, we get asked a lot on panels and other things about like, how do I break into the industry, or how do I get a job in games, or how do I get your job? And it's very,
You fight me for it.
I mean, well,
We fist fight in an alley. Sorry.
Sea dog style.
Yeah, Sea Dog style specifically.
with cutlasses. I love this. But it's the idea that, you know, work on yourself first and get yourself in a place where you're ready for when the opportunity presents itself, and then shoot your shot. Don't just shoot your shot because you think you're ready, but maybe the person you're passing the ball to is not even looking at you, right? And not making eye contact, and then you pass it to them, and it falls on the ground, and then
Hits them in the head. Now it's awkward.
yes, there's like a lot of metaphors we could go with here, but I mean, you were just such a wonderful part of the community that showed this incredible initiative, and it was just like it like magically happened at the right time, like serendipity.
It did. It felt like it was always meant to be.
Yes, exactly. And now look at you. We're gonna gush about you and where you're going and all the things you're doing in just a little bit. I and like I had like this whole like list of like, you know, what are some of our favorite events and memorable moments, and there's just like there's just so much to draw from about like how do you even go back to like one specific thing. I mean, I think one of the things I'm most grateful for is the opportunity to talk to so many of the people who listen to the show, who watch the show, all of the meetups that we've done. I mean, we got to go to London and do a meetup with amazing people who live in the UK who listen and watch the show. I forever will hold that in my memory.
That's actually one of my favorite, because I did come up with one thing I wanted to talk about, and it's the thing that just hit me the most. I'm thinking about everything that fans and listeners have done for us. I mean, and this isn't to take away from anything that people have made for us. I think about the t-shirts. I think about the beautiful art that Brooke made us, you know, and us and our favorite characters, whatever. Rakan gave us these bracelets recently at the meetup, and it just hit me so hard, and it just pounded my heart in a very good, pleasurable way. Because I think what it symbolized to me is we were at the party. We're all kind of running around with chickens with our head cut off. Things are stressful. Things are hectic. And comes up and he hands us these bracelets. And it just kind of reminded me that we've poured our blood, sweat, and tears into this show. We've stressed our asses off. We've cried. We've gone through the whole rigmarole of emotions when it comes to it. But despite all of that, and when we were going through all of that, our listeners were thinking of us, and we were having an impact on their lives. And so I think what this bracelet honestly like represents to me is all of our listeners, because despite us going through it, and it's been hectic these past couple of years, it has been easy. We've been very transparent about that. People still took time out of their day to think about us and do a nice thing for us. And I think that all just kind of came crashing down when we were there. I was like, wow, that's what this represents to me. So I love my bracelet very much, Rakan. Thank you.
Thank you. I left mine at home.
They're like such a thoughtful gift. Yeah. And there's so many messages, the thoughtful cards and the notes. And we found the handwritten letter that a young fan of the show wrote to you that very first year.
I remember that.
And the drawing that she made for you, and just how special that was.
I love to think about the fact that some people were listening with like their children, like their young kids.
We are one of the top 10 podcasts for teens and children. Haven't you heard?
We are literally.
We're literally on like a lot of top 10 lists for kids. We are still confused by it, but that's okay.
Sorry, children. But it warms my heart to know that there were like little girls listening to this, being like, oh, you know, I can be into I mean, not anymore. The times have changed, but like traditional boy hobbies, and I can be into nerdy things, and like I can be in a room with other women and like talk about these nerdy things, and that there is a space in this world for them. So to me, that was just like so powerful. And now I do that from a different part of the industry. But yeah, to all the kids watching, I'm sorry and thank you.
Yeah, hopefully no kids watching this episode. It's gone places, and we're still in the, you know, not even halfway.
The chipmunks conversation is really gonna ruin it. It's really
gonna ruin it. I wonder how many times a parent and a child have been listening in the car, and the kid's like, "What does that mean?" And the parent's like, "Oh."
Brittany's like, "It pounds my heart," and they have to be like, "Nope,
what does
nope."
that even mean? Nope.
I love that you even made like a heartfelt message sound like innuendo.
I mean, that's what I do, baby.
It's your special
my
little
talent.
skill.
It comes so naturally.
It does. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Do you think that doing What's Good Games like changed anything about who you are or your career trajectory, like fundamentally, that you didn't already have in the plans?
Me?
Or added something that you were like, I never thought that I would have learned or gained this, but dang, I did.
Oh yeah, it definitely empowered me, because like watching you again, like you earned the title busiest lady in the business for a reason.
I was very busy for a long time.
You're still busy. Like you did the chat with like Haluk from Marvel at SGF, and you did the story time for like PAX, and like you're still doing it. Like you are still doing it.
I'm still doing it, everybody.
And for me, like I always kind of thought, you know, oh, I'm only gonna get anywhere if I can convince people to hire me, if I can convince people to like add me to a team. Like I was always, for lack of a better term, always kind of playing into like the man, or like I have to fit in with the man, and that's how I'm going to get what I want. And when you approached me about What's Good, and we started talking and then working with you guys on it, it made me realize like I don't have to play into any of that. I can just be who I am and find a way or carve my own path or make my own opportunities. Like you taught me to make my own opportunities specifically. And you too, because you came from an independent, doing your independent thing. So that's what I did. I just kind of went out into the world and did my own opportunities. And also I think being on the show is when I discovered that I was funny.
You're so funny. I can't believe that our show was that moment for you because you've been funny the whole time.
No, I remember and like, I'm actually maybe a little bit of shade to the people that employed me at Polygon and GameSpot. I was definitely squandered there. Sorry, guys. But
it's true.
I didn't get a lot of. I got more on camera time at Polygon than I did at GameSpot. We're not gonna talk about that here. But I just felt like I was always kind of. I felt like I had a good personality. I feel like I knew a lot about games, and I was like, oh, no one really lets me like sit and just talk. I don't have to be popular. I don't have to have opinions, but I want to talk with people. I like to talk with people. I'm a yapper. I'm a Gemini. Duh. So when we got on the show and you weren't telling me like, oh, you're so weird, shut up. I was just like, oh yeah, this is who I've been all along. just let it happen. So thank you for giving me a voice and teaching me to just go create my own path.
I relate with that so much. I think that's one of the main things for me too, is just, again, like I'd only been my own thing before this, but it's hard, especially when I perceive myself a lot. I'm always like aware of how others are perceiving me as I used to. I've gotten a lot better at that now, but especially, like I knew Steimer very well, but I didn't know you two very well. So now I'm starting this show, right? And then it was like,
sorry, not sorry.
No, it was so good for me though, because slowly I was able to peel back layers. And I mean, I was still like, if you listen to those older episodes, like myself, but not really myself. And then you feel it was a safe space for me to do that. Because again, no one ever once was like, hey, you're weird. Hey, you should stop talking about that. Stop talking about fucking things, Brittany. And I'm like, ugh.
Tell me about fucking things, Brittany. Tell me about it.
There were a couple times when I'm like, it's a little weird even for me. You got to walk it back just a tiny bit, just for decency.
But then you had both of us and we double teamed you.
That's correct.
Yes. And now we expose you. But no, like for real, I think it did a lot for me, especially, I was only, 20-something when we started this show?
We were sub 30, yeah.
Yeah. So growing and learning and, wow. What did you just say?
I said that must have been nice to be under 30.
Baby, you're only 32.
That's right, correct.
You're younger than all of us.
But yeah, no, it was really empowering to work among a bunch of women and just feel like you could be yourself and not have like the judging eye or like, what the fuck, you're weird,
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing that it took me a long time to recognize, that I had been put into this very constrained media corporation box of how a woman in an office is supposed to act, and more so what is and is not tolerated from a woman in like a gaming centric part of that office ecosystem is supposed to act. And so I just, like a lot of people who are othered in gaming communities, you just close that part of yourself away because you don't want to be ridiculed or ostracized or pushed out of the group. Yeah. So you're like, well, I guess I'll just like hide my fandom, and maybe my fandom isn't good enough for these people or whatever. And I think a lot of people who come to our show feel that way, and that's why the show is important to people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think back in the day, like around when we started this, games media was definitely like, not internally at like these companies, but there was this kind of like, if you were a woman in games media, you had to look a certain way. You had to be pretty. You had to kind of be in a thing, and
you could never make a single mistake.
No, and there was always like people on the outside always made the assumption like, oh, there's like one seat at the table and you all have to kind of like fight over it. And I was very fortunate to work with a lot of really strong, awesome women. So like I was never like treated that way in the actual space, but from the outside it was always like, oh, like I wasn't as pretty as my coworkers or wasn't as pretty as whomever, so I like wouldn't get hosting jobs, I wouldn't get whatever. And you were like, we're just gonna do this thing, like we could be ourselves, we could be freaking weird, and it just didn't matter. It just mattered that we showed up and we like were open and we
were authentic,
and we were authentic.
I think the community, and they loved it.
Yeah,
obviously, look how successful we were, right?
That's pretty great,
and that's, I think, very validating too.
Yeah.
So what's good confidence builder?
Oh yeah, such a big confidence builder.
And you guys frequently talked for many minutes on end about Pokemon that I still am unclear about. I'm forever going to know who Sandy Gas is, though.
Garbodor.
My favorite, in Garbodor.
Garbodor. I have more questions to ask you ladies, including some games that shaped your journey during your time at What's Good Games. But we're going to take a quick break. So stick with us, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are continuing our conversation for the finale episode of the What's Good Games podcast. There was some giggles during the break.
Just a few.
What?
My back cracked so
Is that
many
what that
times.
I thought it was the chair squeaking. That was your back?
My bones.
Are you
It
okay?
was her body.
I'm all right. I'm good.
Are
I'm
you
good.
limp?
I'm good.
What's good, bodies?
Not
a
this
lot.
one.
No. We all hurt.
Exactly.
Oh,
We
the
heard.
pain.
I thought it would be fun to just quickly mention the shirt that Brittany is wearing. For people who are listening on podcast, she is wearing an old school hot pink tank top that has the words "Goodbye Forever" in white text on it.
What a model.
This is a very limited piece of What's Good Games merch that was in our store for an oh so brief amount of time. But I love that it's there because we also have a banner hanging behind us in the studio that says
Goodbye,
forever.
forever.
Like a bird, only if
One
it's
of our
relevant.
other original pieces of merch was a silhouette of a woman back flipping off of the earth, and then it said "Goodbye Forever" underneath of it.
That was a good one.
And I love that you're here, Alexa Ray, because all of our best
Oh.
one-liners came from you.
I'm a
100%.
writer.
And
Could
the
you
fact
tell?
that you didn't think you were funny before the show.
No, I didn't.
But
at
you're
all.
so funny. I mean, not today, Satan. I know you didn't come up with that one, but the way that you used it was very, very
It's your delivery.
excellent.
What do you mean?
Just
Perfect
you know
timing.
exactly what you were just so fucking funny. The things you say randomly, like okay, goodbye forever, baby ass baby mode, nerdy for narrative.
Baby ass baby mode, I still use. I use the term baby ass
do
baby
we.
mode
All the time.
in conversations with the development teams that I work with.
I love this.
On unnamed project, we were talking about, are we going to have difficulty modes? And someone was like, what? And I said, for story stuff, like, are we going to have a baby ass baby mode? And it was just like
Crickets?
crickets.
but it so clearly
And I'm like,
explains
you know what I
what
mean,
you
though.
mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, they knew what I meant. I think
Right.
they didn't flinch. They were like, well, like they didn't flinch. They knew what I meant. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
baby ass baby mode, I still play everything on baby ass baby mode.
Absolutely.
Most
My goal
days.
is someday to make a game where the easiest mode is just called baby ass
Now,
baby
didn't
mode.
that come to be because we were talking about was it Wolfenstein?
It was
Yes.
Wolfenstein. They
Baby
had a
mode.
baby mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I called it baby ass baby.
Perfect.
mode.
That
Oh my
was the
God,
whole
so good.
genesis of baby ass baby mode, and it became a mantra for our show. Not only because it's okay to play on whatever difficulty setting you want,
yes, it is.
but the
Yes,
idea
it
of
is.
accessibility, the idea of being a parent and not having time to play it on the hardest difficulty, but also just letting people enjoy the escapist medium that is video games the way they want to, and not have this preconceived notion that they have to play it the way you want to play it. And I love that whole ethos was something that was associated with our brand many years
Yeah.
after you coined that term.
We did a good job.
Well done.
I would
Boom.
pound you.
I did.
Well,
yes,
window.
please.
Oh, see, God, I love you. You're lucky you're across this table from me right now.
Oh, wow. Is she?
The stream
Yes.
later.
Is she?
No, I mean, but wouldn't she be luckier if she was? No.
Luckier
Um,
she was
let's-
in your lap.
When you have to explain the joke, it stops becoming funny.
But also like when the husbando evolution to the seal bando. I feel like up to that point, had anyone hazed you for that yet?
No, because I did not tell anybody.
Oh, okay. Well,
we created a
sorry.
safe space.
No,
That was good.
and then we
And they
blew
made
it
fun
up.
of it.
Literally, so seeing your and Brittany and Steimer's love
Husbando.
for like deep connection to video game characters, very different characters that I was kind of at a loss for because I didn't play RPGs growing up. I played like Super Mario Brothers and arcade racing games, and I just did not play those kinds of things. I think the first game I played that had a character that maybe you could lust after was GTA Vice City. I was like, I
Okay.
wasn't gonna be like, oh, Tommy.
You really went from 0 to 100 with that one, though.
But I just
Yes.
I just remember us having this conversation, and we were like, so Andrea, who is your like fictional crush? And you were like, there's this sci-fi book series that I like. And we were like, go on. And you're like, where a man and he turns into a seal.
But look at how many people banged the bear in
I
Baldur's Gate 3,
know.
okay?
You were ahead of the time.
Okay.
I banged
You're
Tulsa.
That is so fair.
But no, you were ahead of the curve. You set the standard. You were like, it's okay to bang the man who turns into an animal.
But
it was a seal.
But you didn't bang him when he was an animal.
You could. I mean,
No,
you
that's
could.
not, in that
but
fictional universe. That
Was
was
there
not
any
what
banging
happened.
in that series at all?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but when they were both in human form,
But
Oh.
the birth
there
of
was
the
no
seal
bestiality
bando
in that series.
you very earnestly, and like I am a little sorry for this, maybe not much, but you very earnestly like brought the book onto a show and read the paragraph, and me and Brittany pulled up our phones, and you pulled up seal arfing sounds, and I pulled up Careless Whisper, and we hit play at the same
clip
time.
hurled around the world. Why don't we just insert it here?
Please enjoy.
So a bunch of stuff happens, which I don't want to spoil if you actually want to go read this series. I actually like now need to reread this series because I love it so much. Oh my God, what?
Go on, keep reading. yes, Brittany. Let me run my flipper down your spine.
I'll push my thumb against your forehead, girl.
They don't have thumbs.
That's right.
Let me gum your eel with my seal lips.
Run your finger along my blubber. My brown blubber. My brown fat.
Wait, are there seal sounds mixed in here?
Crying. And I'll never forget that too, because you did some prep homework for that episode. It
And we
was
ruined
around
it.
the holidays. We did.
I brought my paperback with
Well,
sticky
you were
notes
sitting
in
at
it.
the table, and I remember you putting your sticky notes in there, and you're all excited, and then you start reading it, and you're like, "I'm gonna have to read this again. It's so good." And then you bust
Us
out the Carol.
chuckle
Oh my
fucks were
God.
just like, ha ha.
That was so
And I
good.
lost.
so
I
good.
lost my shit.
It was so
It
good.
was so good. I remember too. There's a secret segment I would love to watch again where we are just talking about our husbandos.
Yes.
I think you said Liara. But I mean, she's not a husbando, but I think
Yeah,
you said
from
that.
Mass
She counts.
Effect.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
counts.
She's
But-
no gender, right? Or
Honestly, don't know. I think her pronouns are she.
Yeah, I think
she waifu though. She can
She
get
is
it.
waifu.
Wife material.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny that we had that conversation with you, because I would like expect you to not really like name a lot of people, fictional characters that you would bang. But
Yeah.
us, obviously, like we're horny for all that shit. But I love that we put you in that position very early on.
I think again it goes back to the
Yeah.
you allowed me to allow myself to be in that position.
the
You know?
freedom, the liberation.
Yes, you liberated my locked away inner
Seal
horny
bando.
nerd.
Horny
Yeah,
nerd.
girl.
Yes.
We
I
love it.
That.
We
Yeah.
love
Yes,
it.
I mean, because listen, nerds are horny. I
Yeah.
mean, humans are horny in general,
Mostly.
right? Like the human species is horny by default.
Yeah.
But
how we
still
nerds
here.
are a special breed of horny,
Continue
and
the species.
there's nothing wrong with being horny as long as you were.
But if it's a
respectful.
seal, then what is?
Oh, we're in a chipmunk situation.
No, we're not going to talk about the chipmunk.
No,
Please
no,
leave the
okay.
chipmunks out of
We're
it.
not, because I do want to ask about a game
Okay.
that was influential, impactful to your journey. So I had the incredible honor and pleasure of interviewing Phil Spencer, the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, the head of Xbox, on stage at PAX, which you mentioned the story time that we did at PAX West. And he did this talk about 5 games that shaped his journey. And it got me thinking about if I had to do that talk for myself, what would those games look like? And thinking about how do we pick from 7.5 years of What's Good Games and think about what goes into this finale episode. It was like, what if we talked about a game that was super impactful to us during our journey at What's Good? So Brittany, I would love to start with you.
Yes. Special shout out to the Yakuza series, which I discovered, in What's Good Games, which saved me from the hell that was the pandemic. But
And then became your whole personality.
my favorite franchise now,
Yes.
like literally. Ugh. But I'm not going to talk about that one right now. I'm talking about God of War 2018.
I love this pick.
This is it. Yeah, this was, I think, for me, a moment where I was like, oh my God, maybe we really do have something very special here, because, and I'll get to that. So the game came out. God of War was definitely not something that was ever in my wheelhouse. Played it, instantly knew it was a masterpiece. We had a lot of fun content around it. I love Steimer's. It's an okay game. It's fine, is what she said. She was
So
very
funny.
sick off of an ear
Still
infection.
never forgive her for that.
No.
wild.
We loved it. We talked about it, reviewed it. It was great. A few months after that, I don't remember where we were. I don't know if you were there. We were at a convention, and Corey Barlog walks up to us and fanboys the fuck out.
I think it was at PAX.
Yeah,
No, was it PAX or
PSX?
PSX?
I think it was PAX.
Okay.
Because I have a photo of us in a hallway
Yeah.
in a convention center with Corey, and I think it was at PAX West.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember, I'm like, you're Corey Barlog, dude. Like, aren't you supposed to be the really cool dude who knows he's really cool? But instead, he's like, oh my God, I love you guys. Can I get a picture with you guys? And I was like,
Amazing.
what? And again, you have to remember, like, I had never had interaction with anybody who actually professionally worked in video games before. So here is like the dude who made the masterpiece of 2018, which I still think is like the epitome of a masterpiece of a video game, fanboying out over our stuff and our content and wanting to take a picture with us. You know, that was, I think, really obviously validating, but also really humbling to me, and was my first real lesson into people who make games are just people. And they're not these stuck up, holier than thou people in suits, not all of them anyway. And
Not most of them, I would say.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so Corey really kind of humanized again with that first example of that for me, and really kind of changed my perspective on what someone who's very smart, successful, and at the top could be. Because again, that was my first like, whoa. And then we had him on the show.
He was
And-
one of our most viewed interviews of all time.
Yeah.
Out of all of our episodes.
Wow.
So I think playing that game, and that was the first game I would ever call a true masterpiece, and then having the creator of that game being like, oh my God, it's What's Good Games. Can I get your picture? That was just like, whoa.
It was such a cool
What are we
piece that we
doing?
did as well, where and that was the kind of content I love to make as a creator, where Sony invited us to come to Sony Santa Monica for the preview event. And when PlayStation does preview events, I mean, they usually invite, a pretty small amount of creators or media people, but you get really incredible access, and then they have developers there. And I had pitched them on doing this in-depth preview where we interviewed multiple people from the team. And I think we did 3 separate interviews, and we did like a special 30 or 40 minute standalone episode just on the development of God of War. And it was such a cool moment for us, not only as a brand and as a team, but video games. I think we were looking for that story, a game like that took this legacy franchise that had problems and it completely reinvented itself and became this phenomenal icon, this jewel in PlayStation's first party crown.
Yeah. God of War, man.
What a great pick. What a wonderful pick. Doing a hard pivot now to Alexa Ray Corriea.
Oh, here
my
we go.
God. So the year in our first year, that was the year that Super Mario Odyssey came out. And
yes.
another
Super Mario
masterpiece.
Odyssey.
Another masterpiece. And while everyone else was enjoying this really amazing Mario game, I was hyper fixated on the metaphysics of how it worked. How the fuck does Cappy do that? Like, what is he? Where does he come from? How does it work? I had this whole theory. I wrote a whole ass article about it. How I thought that Mario dies in the first, because in the opening cutscene he falls off the ship. So I'm like, Mario dies in the first 5 minutes of Super Mario Odyssey, and Cappy has reanimated his shambling corpse.
Jesus.
And that's how, yes, and that's how he's able to turn Mario into all of these other things, because he's literally like possessing him. And a lot of memes came out, like there was that one meme that was like, Mario had sex with my wife and now I have to father his child because Mario like possessed his wife or whatever. But everyone else was just having a really great time with Super Mario Odyssey. Like, mechanics are great, Luncheon Kingdom, cool. Pauline, and I'm like, how does it work? Like, what does it mean? Like, I just went down this dark pathway of like, Cappy is the spawn of the devil. He is a demonic entity from beyond. There's a scourge on the Mushroom Kingdom, and I just hyper fixated on it. And I know everyone was just like, Alexa, it's just like, it's a really good Mario games don't have a lot of like rules. You just gotta like. You gotta suspend the disbelief. No, my
It's
disbelief.
a video game.
My disbelief could not be suspended. I was actively just like completely like wrapped up in it, to the point where like I think every week there was a joke or something was going on. And I was really, that was also around the time that like Not Today Satan started becoming part of our like lexicon.
Were you watching a lot of drag before that moment, or did you
Yes.
start watching Drag Around then?
No, I had been watching Drag Race up to that point, but Not Today Satan just like really resonated with me. And I think like when I saw Cappy, I thought, oh, Not Today Satan.
Like literally saying,
Where did
Literally.
you come from? Like, what does it mean? What are you? Like, I was obsessed with like, what is Cappy? What's going on? If they ever make a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey, I will lose my damn mind.
Did we ever find out what Cappy is?
Ugh!
We need a Cappy origin story.
Yeah, he's a hat that can bring dead bodies back to life and possess other creatures. He is a ghoul and a scourge. I remember we were playing TKO on like a stream or something, and Brittany wrote in, because it was like add a phrase, draw a picture, and I drew Cappy because again, hyperfixated, definitely
nightmares.
mentally ill. Okay, so hyperfixated, so I drew Cappy.
Obsessed.
And then
is maybe a word I would use.
The T-shirt that TKO popped up was a picture of Cappy, my Cappy, and it said "Not Today Satan" underneath it, and it was just like, and it's right here. We're gonna put it right here.
Yes, I'll add it in.
And the T-shirt on the left is Brittany's. This is
Bang It?
Can I bang it?
That's very on
But
brand.
Yes, it
that
is.
that for me, like my like deep inability to let this go really allowed, and like the fact that I was able to just run with it here, like again, I discovered that I had a voice, that I could be funny like on the show. But Super Mario Odyssey
That's why
was
I
my
love
gateway
you.
drug.
That's why I love your brain, is because someone else like me would just see Cappy like, all right, whatever. But you break it down and you come up with theories that I'm like, I'm second guessing what the fuck Cappy is.
I got one of those. They gave us, I think it was E3 that year. One of the things they made Cappies, and I came home one day, and my then fiance, now husband, had put it on our couch, and it was just sitting in the middle of our couch, and I was like, oh fuck, he's here.
He's like, she's getting too
He
close
heard
to the
you
truth.
talking
He's
shit.
found me.
He's like,
He
you got
found
something to
me.
say to me?
He fucking found
Why
me.
don't
Cappy
you put
found
me on, Alexa, and see what happens?
So for me, it was Super Mario Odyssey because it was like a thing until I left, and it's still
Still is,
a
it
thing.
looks like.
We're literally talking about it, and my heart is like
elevated.
But yeah, Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, that's a good one.
That
Good
is
one.
also a wonderful pick. Rihanna,
Yeah.
I think I know what game you're picking, maybe mostly because you told me before we started recording.
Yeah.
But also I knew even before you told me.
Yes, and if I could still fit into the shirt, I would be wearing it right now. And I cannot let this episode go by without mentioning the What's Good Guardians and our journey through Destiny. So I played Destiny Vanilla when it came out, and I liked it. I wasn't one of the people who were like, what is this? This is garbage, $100 million, 10 years, blah. Like, I didn't have that reaction at all. I was like, this is a fun shooter. I like Halo. I like Bungie. I'm like, this is cool. And when the first raid came out, I remember we figured out how to cheese Crota. It was a Vault of Glass
Vault
raid.
of Glass, yeah.
And we figured out how to cheese the boss by throwing like the solar grenades at his feet when he's on the edge, and then he just kind of like burp, like hops off the side. And it was the first time I'd ever played a shooter with that many people. It's the first time I ever played a raid in anything ever.
Same.
It was my first time learning how that grind goes, how those mechanic breakdowns work, how you have a leader, how you have a lot of people who are fucking up on the side, and hours
Not listening to the leader.
not
yes.
listening, fucking around, like joking, like having a great time failing. And it was one of those like crucibles of experiences that sort of like bonded us all together.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Ooh.
I'm not a writer. And the fact that that was paired alongside my journey into What's Good Games as, you know, first a fan, then a mod, then a helper, then on the chair, like it's sort of like my confidence in playing those types of games and like going through those types of experiences was a direct parallel journey. And like learning like, oh, I can maybe actually like teach people things, or I can maybe like talk about games intelligently, or maybe I can have an opinion on how the developer approached this release. And it was one of those things that, like you're saying, like gave me that validation, gave me that confidence that, oh, I have a brain that works and people want to hear what I think about things. I knew the first part. I did not know the second. And until I found that group, until I found the seat, I did not believe in what I had to say, to the point where I would actively try to share it with other people. And What's Good Games, and in part even just having a clan gave me that confidence, that a platform, that safe space to really believe that, oh yeah, I really do have original thoughts that people might want to listen to, and they might actually want to hang out with me. Like,
It turns out,
Yeah.
many years
Yeah.
later, we do. We
Yeah.
want to hang out.
well, I mean, and I had always had friends because of circumstance, you know, like, oh, they're in my dance class, or they're at my school, or we're in the same program, or we go to work together. But I had never actively made new friends as an adult until then. And it changed me. And I will always love Destiny, even if the grind is way too hard right now. But that's something that I will never forget. And it's really just kind of like a microcosm of what's happened to me because of this show.
I'm so glad that you picked this game, because I obviously have to talk about Destiny 2, because we had that shared experience together, right? And, you know, other clanmate is in the room with us today, so shout out to Susu Dip. I still feel like I say your screen name wrong every time. But the amazing What's Good Guardians and all of the people who did strikes or raids over the years, and I can't list literally everybody that we've played with over the years, but you guys know who you are. The incredible group that we formed through Destiny. And Destiny 2, the reveal event was What's Good Game's very first episode. It was the first thing that Steimer and I did together. I literally was in Los Angeles for the Destiny 2 reveal with Steimer. I flew back to LA, and we had our first technically broken episode. Brittany and I were listening to it back this morning while we were getting ready for the recording today. And it's just such an interesting arc that game was the beginning of What's Good, and the final shape and the end of what appears to be Destiny 2 is also the end of What's Good.
Oh, damn the timing.
But the amount of experiences that we've had along the way are just incredible. And I'd never played an MMO. I'd never played an RPG with friends. I'd played many, many shooters, but not like that. And PvP was something I did by necessity at preview events because I was there to do work, but not by choice. And I actually found myself playing the Crucible because I was having fun.
So
Shout out
good.
to Mayhem. It's my favorite mode.
It's ridiculous.
But what an incredible game that brought people together. And that was actually one of the games that Phil Spencer brought up too, Destiny, about how the friendships you formed. And he had mentioned that it was the first time he met somebody in a video game and then became friends with them in real life afterwards. And that was the same for me.
Yeah, same for me too.
So, yeah, it was really special. Will be forever.
Yes.
So I love this. I love this pick. What a fantastic pick.
Now we just need those kids to grow the fuck up so they all can
Yes,
play
you know,
again.
the fact that it doesn't pause.
They can start their
is
own clan.
Hard. But the What's Good Guardians clan will persist as long as people want to keep playing, and we'll hopefully see what happens with the future of Destiny. It's TBD.
Still need to finish this one.
Yes, exactly. I definitely have lots of dungeons left to do. So if you see me, you know,
You're in a dungeon.
so send up the ping. Let's play. I can't talk about games that were impactful to me during my journey at What's Good without bringing up the game I never thought I would play.
Oh.
And
And
there
up
were-
and down you would not play.
Swore up and down I would not play. Was like, you can't make me. This is for other people.
You are now other people. though.
I'm now like, oh, I
One
surpassed.
of us.
I surpassed
One
a lot
of
of the
Your
other
sugar
people.
daddy is in the room with us.
Yes, she is. And I never knew I would fall so deeply in love with something that came to my life at exactly the time that I needed it. And that's Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Absolutely.
Hundreds and hundreds of hours into a game that I was like, I don't play Animal Crossing. Fuck this Animal Crossing. Who's this Tom Nook guy anyway?
Crook.
Tom Crook, yes. There's
now he
definitely,
owns your ass.
There's definitely still. Well, now I've got like 10 million bells just sitting in my bank account if I ever visit my bummy island again.
Wow.
I've definitely. I've been gone. I've been gone for a while.
Is it too painful to revisit now because you just know what state it's going to be in?
Also,
No,
your
I
villagers
love
just have
cleaning
attitude.
people's islands. Actually, I always made Steimer bring her Switch so I could like go pull weeds on her island when she would give over. I was like, I like cleaning up. I'll clean up your island. I got
Clean it up now. You could go clean up yours.
I could clean it up.
It's still there.
It is, and I didn't get into a lot of the DLC actually, but that's a conversation for another time. But this game was comfort food to a lot of people during the pandemic when we were all incredibly isolated and just in all kinds of bad headspaces, trying to figure out what's happening in the world and missing our friends and family and missing our lives. And this was the game that I would take outside and sit outside with my cup of coffee in the mornings and just go around and talk to all my villagers and see what was in the shop. And I went down so many subreddit rabbit holes looking for QR codes for specific types of clothing, things I never did. I never went to Reddit to look at gaming shit ever, let me tell you.
No way.
I'm serious. I would go to like look at comments on the videos that I worked on, and that's it. And Animal Crossing completely changed that for me. I became obsessed. I was on Nookazon. I had like I was on the special app where you would like find the people with the turnips and you would like go and visit.
Oh, the turnip exchange?
The queue.
Turnip
yes, you would like, get in the
exchange.
queue to like go wait and exchange your turnips. Like I'm never gonna forget the time that I went to Maria's island, and she had so many tarantulas.
What happened?
Like no inbox. Like she'd collected so.
Oh
many
God! What happened? Why?
because you had to wait for Flick to come
Flick would
to
come.
your island
Jesus Christ.
to sell the tarantulas because he was on this weird timer that was like you have to get lucky and you be on when he was there, and then when he was there you would go pick up all of your shit, go sell, go pick up all of your shit.
You
go
became
sell.
a degenerate just like us.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, but I was like maybe 5 hours in, and I was ready to quit. And these girls who we did this, like, I mean, those Zoom calls during the pandemic fucking saved my life.
Amen. Literally.
They were all on talking about Animal Crossing. I was like, we're not fucking talking about Animal Crossing on the Zoom tonight.
You were so mad.
I
Like
was
you
mad.
would literally be like, make a new channel in the Discord to talk about your
I
dumb
don't wanna
Animal
hear-
Crossing.
I don't want to hear about what your turnip
Aw.
prices are.
And we're like, girl, just play it.
And then Maria's like, what if I give you a loan? I'm gonna give you a loan of 1 million bells. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of bells. I was like, because there's time gating, as everybody knows who's played. There's all this time gating in the beginning, and I mean, it's by design, right? And I still to this day love referencing Tim Schafer's discussion with Gary Whitta about it on Animal Talking. God bless that show. About how it's this look at life and how you can't have all the things you want right when you want them. You have to sometimes wait for the things. You have to earn the things. You have to put the time in and care for it. And I was like, okay,
Gotta
like
cozy up to a raccoon.
you have to go around and shake a bunch of trees and
Stack
go
tarantulas.
knock on people's doors in the middle of the night and be like, what do you got for me to sell?
So many eggs.
Kick the homeless seagull off the beach.
Yes, exactly. A lot of weird things in that game, but I was like, okay, if I can like fast track these pain points, I'll see if I actually like this game. And thus opened Pandora's box. And I fell deep down the Animal Crossing rabbit hole.
Is I think that open doors to other games like Dreamlight Valley.
Yes.
Well, I made a whole stream called Andrea's Animal Crossing Afternoons for people who were on our Twitch channel. Like that was a thing I did weekly, sometimes more than once a week. And some of our funniest clips are me catching random fish on the
love
beach.
That giant.
The fucking sunfish.
Holy shit!
To this day, I was like, what the fuck is that thing? And it was just such a, like, I will forever remember What's Good Games. I have to go pick up my daughter from daycare. Just kidding, I don't. My husband's going. I will remember forever that moment of time and What's Good Games and the What's Good Games community showing up in chat and telling me how to do things because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing in Animal Crossing. And people coming and bringing gifts and leaving gifts on the island and people making custom What's Good shirts and the QR codes so we could all like wear our little What's Good logo shirts in the game, and it was really cool.
Special,
It was
really special title. Really
Yeah.
special moment.
People made our fucking shirt in the game. Like, that's really cool.
Can I give 2 shout outs?
Yes.
Number 1, Hades. I like we're comparing these notes here. I never would have played that game if I weren't on this show. Like, period. Never. It is a
You were like roguelike? No
roguelike.
thanks.
And what you constantly say, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to start over every time I have a new game or new run. And I loved how horny it is. I love how fun it is. It's so interesting.
So
the dialogue is so
horny.
good. It's such a good story. Like, one of my favorite games of all time. It's overtaken other things that were on my top 5 list.
Wow.
And I would not have played it.
Damn.
That's impressive.
Second shout out, The Division.
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
Oh,
Oh my gosh, we spent so many times playing, like so many hours. And they put our fucking logo
Yes,
in the
they
game.
did.
That's awesome.
In the
Thank you,
game.
Julian. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I will say I won't play it anymore, but I really appreciate the time we had with it. It was very special.
Lots of great clan moments. The hard juxtaposition from a Destiny raid to a Division raid.
Very different.
Very different experience. But yeah, that's a great shout out. So many great games.
The
So many
games never
wonderful
stop.
memories. And as we near the end of the episode, we do have to unfortunately do some housekeeping. Do we want to do that now, or do you have other thoughts you would like to talk about?
Let's just get it out of the way. Just knock it out.
do it. Well, we're going to make posts. Brittany and I decided we don't need to like go into all the details on the podcast, but I mean, for everybody who has been so generous as to give their support to our show and give us dollars to help keep us going and to show up at our events and to buy our merch and to get our dopey handwritten postcards that we did for so long.
Polaroids. Oh my
I
God.
remember that.
Polaroids. The support means the world to us, and we're so grateful, and we appreciate that you guys have been along this journey. We'll be making full posts on both of those pages. We have decided for the time being to have a single tier on Patreon because we literally have to have a paid tier to keep the page from shutting down. And so there is a $1 tier there. We are not asking you or telling you or even encouraging you to go, but it's there if you ever get a whim that you want to go look at all of the legacy
Oh, boy.
Patreon content. It will forever live on that page as long as we keep that page active or until the lawyers tell us we have to turn it off, which, you know, is a very real possibility. And so if you guys are on those pages, we do encourage you to manually cancel your subscriptions. If you're on Supercast, we've already told you that they'll be doing that on your behalf. You will not auto-renew, but on Patreon, they did not give us that option, mostly because they just will not return any of our messages.
Yeah, you
which
should
is-
fix that Patreon.
Which
Just
is
throwing
maybe
that out
one of
there.
the many reasons why we left that platform.
Yeah.
But
Wowie zowie.
Yeah.
so if you have a Patreon membership, literally pull up your phone if you're an Apple user and say, hey, Siri, remind me to cancel my What's Good Patreon tomorrow. And just cancel it and just know that we are forever grateful for you supporting our show and our voices and our brand. So that's most of the housekeeping. The social media channels will stay active and stay live, but we will be sunsetting the Discord and the Facebook fan page later this year. I believe we've targeted November 1st.
Yep. And I'll be posting about
Yeah.
that too. So you'll have time to make connections with maybe those you want to stay in touch with and all that good stuff.
And hopefully you have already at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and that you've maybe formed your own server.
Jesus, what was that?
That's my elbow. That
And her bones be
My
cracking.
bones.
Baby girl.
And
Oh no.
I think now is a good time for us to talk about like what are the plans post WGG. Alexa, we kind of know what your plans are.
Do you?
Well, maybe we don't.
Do
Do you have something to
know?
share with the class?
No. Well, maybe off camera, just to you guys. Haha. No, I am very publicly writing on a Marvel game right now. Big but I have a lot of really cool stuff in the hopper. So if you've liked what I've done and you like stuff that comes out of my mouth and fingers, weird now that I've
I mean,
said it
you're,
out loud.
you're a
feature.
published
You know
author.
what I
You have
mean?
a book.
I have a book, but I have some really interesting stuff coming out probably in the next 2 years.
So where's the best place for people to keep track of all of this?
I am still on the Hell site at Alexa Ray C, where I just do self-promotion, but I am at Instagram at Alexa Ray. So keep an eye out. Should be fun.
It will be fun.
Yay.
Badass, talented, sexy woman.
Stop it.
No.
And
Never.
Riana,
fine, never
we
stop.
talked a little bit about it last week, but you posted, I think either today or yesterday, that you officially did your first like produced written video on your own channel now.
Yeah.
This is so exciting. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. It's really hard. And
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And of course I knew that. But yeah, I am trying to figure out what my channel is going to be, what my voice is. As I've talked about it, I still have a very tenuous relationship with what my voice could be, and this is my next effort to try to figure that out. So first episode of Who Is This Game For? It should be out by the time you're listening to this, and it's on my YouTube and my Twitter/X, and I'm everywhere at the Riana MP.
I love that you've been doing more dance videos.
Yeah.
I've been peeping them.
Yeah.
Wait, you forgot to mention that you're also a badass consultant.
Also a consultant. Yeah. So my husband and I have started our consulting agency that's DNR Media Consulting, and we have a website. It's dannyandriana.com. You can contact us if you have questions about how things work, if you have questions about how we work, if you want to see if we can work together, you can get in touch with us there. But yeah, it's a lot of irons in the fire right now. Turns out,
What
I have a lot
kind of
time on my hands.
if somebody listening, because we have a lot of people who are in the industry that listen and watch our show.
That's true. Very grateful.
What if I wanted to know more? What kind of consulting do you do?
Well, yeah, elevator pitch is we have 30 plus years of combined experience in the games industry, both inside game dev, around it, and as creators and commentators. So if you want to look into how to promote your game, how to find your audience, how to figure out who that even is, we'd love to talk to you.
I like this elevator pitch.
I'm
Very
excited for
nice.
you, Teary.
Thank you.
I think you have the right mindset. It's just be patient with yourself, find your voice, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Like legit.
I'm trying not to overthink it, which is
Don't overthink it.
antithetical
Never
to how I
overthink it.
usually operate.
I know, but you can't.
I can't.
Cannot.
I'm just going with the vibes right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Jump first, think about it later.
Yeah. Backflip off that.
Backflip
earth.
off the earth.
Into a foam pit, not cement.
A foam
Well, if
pit
you're-
that's actually like actually safe, not like a.
Yeah.
If you're off the earth, you're just going into space where the possibilities are endless.
But you just keep floating. There's no oxygen up there.
And shoot for
Listen,
the moon,
this
and
is
you'll end up
metaphorical,
among
okay?
the stars.
Shoot for the backflip off the earth to the moon, and you'll end up among the stars.
Yes, baby.
I don't know where I was going with that.
You
I
saved
mean,
it.
among a star, I guess.
I
The-
get money.
the
I'm
stars.
a
The
star.
star, the sun. It'll bring you alive. Don't go.
Okay, we've definitely workshopped this too much.
It's fine.
Before we continue, could one of you shut the door, because he's going to be coming home with my daughter, and
She might run.
well, we're like in the end of the show, and I don't want her to run in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be very symbolic, though.
It would be indeed,
Crashing the party.
as she loves to do.
And the next
Um,
generation enters.
Brittany, what's next for you and the blonde nerd?
The blonde
You just put
nerd.
out this incredible preview of Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and I love when you flex those muscles, and I love seeing your writing and your editing on Taken. I know you and I secretly like bitch about like, oh my god, we're not really good at this, but we still like doing it. But man, we wish we were better at it.
Dude, it's hard. Just like you were talking about. It's a lot of work. It is so much work. As for me, I kind of like what we talked about earlier in the show was I want to spend more effort and time on the games and the things that I love and I'm really passionate about. That's just what I want to do right now. So I would say more stuff like that, like Dragon Age previews, maybe like Yakuza one-off little funny videos. I just want to make content around the stuff that I love.
So you're going to be a full-time horror video game streamer is what you're saying.
Only if you do it with me, baby.
Oh my god.
Let's off, girl.
Make Yakuza TikToks.
Yeah, like legit, like that's the kind of stuff that I
Fan
want to
cams.
do. It's kind of this, fan cams. Oh my god,
You've
be
just,
so
you've
good
just
at it.
launched the next phase of her career.
thank
Done.
you. That's
Make
my
Majima
legacy.
fan cams.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just kind of like figuring it out. I haven't done this shit on my own in 7 years, you know, and it's gonna be where I want to reset. I want to have some time just to kind of decompress and see where my life takes me, and then go into it with a fresh mindset. I think if I were to try to hit the ground running right now, props to you, by the way, I would shrivel up into a husk. So
Don't do that.
I'm gonna take it slow. Do like my Dragon Age previews. Do my Yakuza, videos, whatever, and just have fun. That's my goal. Have fun. See where it takes me. At Blonde Nerd on the Hell site, blondenerd.com is where I'll be uploading shit. TikTok has been a really good platform for me too. I uploaded my video over there, and even though I only have like 2,200 followers, it has like 85,000 views on it.
Of
So
course it does.
amazing.
It's gonna get more.
Yeah. Except for the asshats who keep putting stupid shit on my comments. Get the fuck out of here. I love blocking people. It's very cathartic for me.
You are always such an inspiration with the band hammer.
Smack
always,
bitches
man.
out. Yeah.
Yes. I love this journey for you, and I feel you on the just need to maybe take a little breather. We've been doing this a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get burnt out. Our friends at Take This have a whole video series on creator burnout and burnout in the workplace as well. So if you guys are like, wow, this really rings true to me, definitely recommend you check those out. But I am very excited to just take a break, like a proper break. And we've said before on the show that, you know, when we were on maternity leave, that wasn't a break.
Hell no.
Anybody who thinks maternity leave is a vacation or a break, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Wasn't a break.
It is not.
Was recovering from multiple surgeries and had a newborn, so didn't really get to play anything or get any rest during that time. And then during the hiatus we took, also not a break. And so it was like, well, when is the break? When does the break happen? And because of everything happening in our industry, it's like, well, maybe now is the right time to take a break, because there's really like it's rough out there. There's like not a lot of jobs, and a lot of our friends who work both on the dev side and the media side have lost their jobs this year in really sometimes tragic and unfair and frustrating ways. And so like, why am I trying to fight this tide? And instead, why don't I just spend more time in my garden? That sounds nice. But I really do love the amazing opportunities I've had this year, getting to work with, you know, like people like Phil Spencer and Xbox, getting to work with Square Enix and the wonderful team at Deck Nine on the Life is Strange things, and getting to do the talk with the AIAS, the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. The Summer Game Fest was really great. And so I'm like, I look forward to doing more of that stuff, because that's what I did before What's Good Games.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll get to, you know, pop in here and there and guest on my friends' shows and, you know, go terrorize the guys over at Kind of Funny and, you know, just kind of figure out what's next, but also just, you know, maybe play a game again. Find time to do that and not have to make any content about it for once.
Yeah. You know, I think that's been a big realization of mine too, real quick, is beginning of the year, Infinite Wealth came out. Played that, reviewed that, very long game. Rebirth, played that, reviewed that, very long game. Made the content, was up till 3, 4 a.m. making the script, da-da-da. I haven't reviewed a game really since then. And I've just been replaying games like Dragon Age Origins. And it feels so good. And I'm so excited that I get to do that now. You know what I mean? It's just play what I want to play and enjoy it.
Yes.
It's a thing I think a lot of folks don't realize when you do this, that you have to kind of stay with the latest and greatest. And it's exhausting. But yeah, I feel you, baby.
Yeah, the chase is forever, and it's never easy, and they change the rules whenever they want, and then they don't tell you that they've changed the rules, and it's really hard to balance fandom and content creation and what your audience wants and needs from you as a creator and what they are looking for, and it's really, really hard. It's really hard.
And then throw a whole ass life on top of that.
And then put, you know, small children in the mix, and, you know, God bless everybody who is doing the two. There's a lot of parent creators out there, and I'm like, you're, I guess, stronger than I don't know. I did have a couple thank yous I wanted to say, unless anyone else has some final parting thoughts.
Let's get to thank yous.
Roll it.
So I do have individual thank yous for all of you ladies, and I feel like I should probably just read Steimer's first, because she's not here. And she can hopefully watch this back and, you know, send me like a high five over the ocean waves. I had this whole like intro written out about the last 7 years of my life and how they've been hard but wonderful, and, you know, we've done so much, but I'm definitely just gonna like start bawling.
Yeah.
So I'm probably just gonna start bawling anyway, but okay. I'm gonna keep it together, everybody.
It's okay if you don't.
Well, it's also I can also edit this. It's fine.
Fair enough.
Be raw, be real.
All right, Steimer, you're up first. Thank you for joining our motley crew with your incredible sense of self and your eloquent critiques on games. Thank you for teaching me how to be a streamer, because I did not know what the fuck I was doing. Remember the first time I was like, so I'm supposed to talk to chat all the time? Like the whole time?
Hyper focus.
Oh wait, they're always watching. It never it never turns off. Got it. Taking notes. Even though I never really quite got good at it. I had a lot of fun, but professional streamer was never in the future for Andrea Renee. Thank you for your dedication to helping grow our show and for bringing just enough sass to keep the salty fans wanting more. And boy, they ask about you a lot.
Yes, they do.
Everyone's always asking about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for always wanting to get dessert with me, for our Golden Girls afternoons prepping the show notes, and for being my rock during some of my hardest days. I was looking through clips, and so many of them are. Sorry, I'm laughing now. Are Cyber's songs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the songs.
It was funny. I was watching clips with John while we were prepping things for the finale. He's like, man, she really just was singing all the time. Just making up songs.
I picked that up from her. I do that now because of her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I always sing stuff. And Jason's like, where'd this come from? I'm like, well, Christine Steimer.
Aw.
Random shit. Her no-no zone? Is that the
It's in the it's in the best of the 7 years of funny stuff, but I mean it's in our Twitch compilation. That's one of many. I mean,
her Sudafed.
The Sudafed song.
Sudafed. Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many. I literally have like all the clips. It literally starts. I started naming the files so I could keep them all together. They're all called like Steimer songs, and it's like dash like what the song.
It's an album.
Is about.
Release
I
the
mean,
album.
listen, that person from SoundCloud really wanted to sign us for a record deal. Do you remember that?
I do.
Like someone reached out like at our first year, and they like found us on SoundCloud, and they were like,
That was so
Hey.
weird.
let's talk. I was like, you have not listened to what our SoundCloud tracks are. Okay. Riana. I said this already this show, but thank you for shooting your shot at the exact right time and for somehow knowing what I needed when I couldn't find the way to tell myself that I needed it. Thank you for being authentically you and bringing a powerful perspective to our table. Thank you for your infectious positivity, your seemingly endless well of empathy, and your desire to educate others. I'm grateful for our countless sessions laughing our way through raids. Definitely remember you and your warlock ways just sabotaging us in that.
So the two that we're talking about.
Jumping is hard.
It is really hard.
Jumping is hard.
It is.
Hunter for life. And struggling with and for suffering through what seemed like endless technical problems on recording day.
Including today.
Today.
Thank you for always being down to clown on stream with me whenever I asked, and for always pushing me to believe in myself the way that you believe in me.
Forever.
You've come light years from the girl I met at that KFBF party. And I'm excited to see you flourish. Spread those wings, girl. It's okay, we're holding it together.
We're blubbery messes. It's okay. It's okay.
I know my makeup's like fully running now.
Yeah, but you look so hot. I'm crying. What the hell?
Oh man.
She's like, no, and I'm just
This
like,
is why
oh.
originally I built like almost a 2-hour break in between the recording and the stream.
So we could fix our makeup.
But then the computer crashed 3 times. Okay.
I love you.
I love you. Alexa.
Oh, fuck. No.
You're fine. We're all fine.
Everything's fine.
We're going to take a
Everything's
drink.
fine.
Everything's
We're gonna
fine.
take
Look
a
at the dog.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Look at the dog. That dog.
drink. Oh no, I spilled.
Unblinking, staring.
Unblinking, unbelieving.
Unbelieving.
No.
He doesn't even know what
See,
dimensions
he's saying
looking
this is
into.
fine. He's there to support us.
He's not
Andrew,
convinced.
his eyes were going in
He
two
get it.
different
He gets it.
directions.
He gets it.
Oh, what happened?
No, man.
Okay. To Alexa.
Let's stare at me.
Thank you for taking a leap of faith with me when I had this crazy idea to start this show. For wanting to take on all of the boys who were doing their own thing and knowing that we could do it too, better even.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing your unique perspective, your incredible knowledge, and your cutting sense of humor to every episode. I never thought that you would get me to say goodbye forever, not today, Satan, and have me backflipping off the earth, and certainly no one else could have convinced me to play Final Fantasy IX.
I did it. That's right. It
Or
was
get
me.
me to listen to over 60 minutes of explanation for how to play Kingdom Hearts in the correct order,
That was a good video.
I did do that.
which you should all go watch if you haven't. The definitive way to play Kingdom Hearts. I'll admit, I'm still a bit sad that your time on the show was altogether too brief, but I'm so incredibly proud of the amazing writer and designer that you've become, and I can't wait to read the next chapter of your story.
Play the next chapter of my story.
Or
And then
both.
interview me.
Or both! Yes, I eagerly await the day. To Britt.
I'm not ready.
Take a drink then.
I'm drinking.
Just chugging wine. Take it all.
Oh, that's in here about wine. I can just skip to that one. Thank you for letting me convince you to try wine.
Force floor flavors.
And for our
Those
late
four
night horror
flavors.
movie sleepovers. And for always being up for my schemes in the name of content. Thank you for jumping into the deep end of a small business ownership with someone you mostly did whiskey shots with at PAX. Thank you for your endless enthusiasm, your incredible curiosity, and your persistent positivity. Thank you for sharing your incredible insight on how to build and foster communities, and for showing me how powerful it is to prioritize passion. Holding it together.
I'm not.
Man, this is going to be a rough edit job.
Oh, they shouldn't edit any of this. This should just be straight cut.
Agreed.
No cuts.
Agreed.
It really should.
Who cares?
No cuts.
I do. I care.
Let it
That's
be
my
raw.
problem is that I always care too much, and I'm
that's-
always spending way too much time like fucking moving the video in the frames like a half an inch to the left, like while we're in the
Yep.
middle of recording,
Yeah.
because I care and literally no one notices.
Your eye for quality is unmatched.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, where was I? You were always there to remind me that video games are fucking cool when the grind of the work would start to dull their shine for me. And then thank you for letting me convince you to try wine. I'll say that again. Thank you for going on the gaming content creator motherhood journey with me and truly understanding how goddamn hard it is. I'm so proud of everything that we've accomplished together, the people that we uplifted, and the incredible stories that they share. Hold on, I have to reread that where I'm actually fucking reading it like a professional.
No, this professional time is over.
What do you like to say? You're a goddamn professional. Get your shit together.
No, professional time is over. We're raw dogging this.
Although I definitely heard my daughter and my husband pull up, so she's about to pull in and be like, "Why is mommy crying?" Okay. The people we uplifted and the incredible stories that they share with us are a testament to this truly incredible thing that we've built. I'm honored to have shared this journey with you, and you bet I'll be first in line to ask Britt shit in the next iteration of the Blonde Nerd Evolution. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
No cuts. No cuts.
Now I have to figure out how to end the show.
No, you're gonna do your game.
First we're gonna
now I'm
drink.
gonna scissor you with my words.
Ooh.
Wow, this suddenly got a Patreon exclusive.
With my words is crazy.
I
do
sincerely want to thank you, because when I started this journey with you, I was just a little wide-eyed girl who knew nothing about production, professional bullshit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You chastise yourself for it, but I admire you for it. I have grown so much personally, professionally, and I could not be half of the person I was today if it wasn't for you. And I hope you understand how important your impact has been on my life, for always believing in me and pushing me, and just, I guess, just always being someone for me to talk to.
Anytime.
I love you.
I love you. I love all of you.
Are we dogpiling on Andrea now? Can I go
Yes.
next?
Oh, it's a group scissor.
Group scissor. I meant what I said. Fuck. Here it comes.
Here,
Am I gonna cry? Am I
got you,
gonna,
I got you,
or
I
am
got
I
you,
gonna
I got you.
burp? What's happening? The gas in my body. No,
You can borrow it if you want.
I meant what I said earlier. I know that we initially, you were like, because you came to me and you were like, I want to do this thing and I want to do it. And I know, yes, my time on the show was really brief, but I mean it when I said that you taking on the boys, standing up, not following the boys and starting your own path and doing things your way and carving your own way inspired me to eventually do it myself. And even though it did take me away from the show, it didn't take me away from you. And I carried that with me throughout my whole career, and I still do now. So you have touched a lot of lives, not least of all the women in this room. So even though I'm a big, stupid game developer now, you had a very outsized impact on
I would
being
not
here.
use any of those words to describe you. You are a mentor and a leader, and
No.
you're going to own your own studio someday.
No, I'm dumb. But and it's just been really amazing to watch you at games as a developer, like, or at events, doing these interviews and doing these things. You are still the busiest lady in the business. Still.
I'm trying.
You're succeeding.
I'm enjoying this scissoring. I'm sorry.
Look to your left.
There's a as her husband slowly closes the door.
So fitting.
They definitely opened the door. My daughter was eating a popsicle, and then he saw us all crying, and then slowly closed the door, backed away.
And heard you say
You
scissoring.
heard the scissoring.
The emotional
I know I'm the
scissoring.
newest to the group, but I would love to close this Andrea dog pile out.
Bring us home.
Are you okay over there?
She is going through it.
Oh.
Well, when you
Through
chug, when you
it.
chug champagne, the
I
bubbles
need
have,
it.
the bubbles have to come out somewhere.
I'm sorry, honey.
I'm glad they came out earlier rather than later. Andrea, I remember vividly going to your house, and I was having a layover, and in between a dance thing and some other thing for work, and you said, hey, why don't you just stay at my house and I'll take you to the airport in the morning. And I stood in your kitchen and you fed me white grapes, some of the best grapes I've ever had in my whole life. And you said, well, hey, do you want to record something real quick? And we walked out to your studio in the backyard, and
Oh my.
and you interviewed me, and we talked about my career. At that point, I was at Xbox, and it talked about how I was a mod for Kind of Funny and What's the Games, and how I had, been navigating my way through the industry, and I never would have guessed that conversation would lead to finding my voice, finding my husband, you planning my baby shower.
I still have that giraffe.
Giraffe was a great sign. And you becoming one of the most important people in my life, all because you saw something in me and you thought, hey,
I can't let this girl sleep in the airport.
and you gave me a microphone, and I don't know where I'd be without that moment. I just want to say thank you.
And now look at you. You own your own fucking business, you boss.
How?
None of us know what we're doing.
But that's the power of the show, right? That we uplift each other, and it's obviously a lot of it is about our experiences as women uplifting other women, but it's not exclusively about women. It's about people who have felt that they haven't belonged, or that their fandom's not nerdy enough, or it's too nerdy, and you don't fit the Goldilocks nerdiness that is the popular nerdy thing to be, and feeling like you don't have a place to belong. And we just always wanted, that was always our thing. We just want people to feel like they have a place, that they belong, but they can't be a dick.
Don't be a
That
dick.
was the
Number
number
one
one
rule.
rule.
Not allowed.
Number
Sorry.
one mod rule, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
As long as you're cool, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to be passionate nerds who have very different opinions. But as long as we agree, like, hey, everyone gets to be a nerd here.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to be a passionate fan. Everyone gets to have their version of baby ass baby mode, or their own husbando, or their own waifu, or their own Cappy obsession. And I'm really proud of that. And
Yeah, I mean, we crushed it.
we did. We crushed it.
We made a really important impact in this industry, and I hope that we paved the way for similar folks to do rad things in the industry.
I know
And
that we did. We hear
Yeah.
from them all the time.
It's true.
Lots of messages. And thank you to everybody who sent messages. There's been so many women who've reached out who now have jobs in video game development that say that this show was how they found that's what they wanted to do. And that's incredible. And so many people who found their friends or partners or clans or just someone to kick it with on Discord. And we are just so grateful for all of you sharing our lives with us and sharing your stories with us. And we love y'all.
Oh boy.
Don't be sad because it's gone. Be happy because it happened. Bye, everybody.